The year was 1958. I was 4, going on 5, and in September of that year, I would begin kindergarten. The chrome on cars was at an all-time high, and I loved it. And I also loved all the music my dad would play on our monophonic hi-fi system. And I was introduced to the Billboard Top 40 thanks to my 3 older sisters who always watched American Bandstand. Hi, I'm Mr. Mike. That's what the kids at church call me. And welcome to this episode of In My Musical Opinion, the channel where I go through every #1 hit song according to the US Billboard Pop Charts from a year in rock and roll history. Tell you who recorded the song and how many weeks it remained in the #1 position. And I always add a few interesting bits of musical trivia for each and every song. Trivia we may not know. And it's all compliments of Wikipedia. Thank you, Wikipedia. You know that I love 50s sci-fi. So, to my left here on my screen by wallpaper, name the movie and the year. And I'll give you the answers at the end of this video. This should be an easy one. Before we get into today's video, I hope you will give this video a thumbs up, share it with your friends, and new subscribers to this channel are always welcome. And just as another note, I do not monetize this channel or these videos. I do it so music lovers have something to enjoy. Plus, it keeps me busy in my retirement years. Today, I'll be going through the year 1958. There are 18 #1 hit songs for 58, and 7 of these songs were #1 for only 1 week. Then stick around to the end to see which ones are, in my musical opinion, my top 5 hits from this year. Okay, let's get 1958 rolling. Our list of #1s for 1958 begins with Danny and the Juniors, with the popular rock and roll song, At the Hop. Thanks to some advice from Dick Clark, the song title and lyrics were changed from Do the Bop to At the Hop. And that's how we remember it. The year 1957 ends with At the Hop as #1 for 1 week. And it begins 1958 as #1 for another 6 weeks, for a total of 7 weeks.
Let's go to the hop, oh baby. Let's go to the hop, oh baby. Let's go to the hop. Let's go to the hop.
Replacing Danny and the Juniors as our new #1 artist is the group The Silhouettes and their hit song, Get a Job. The song was written by Richard Lewis, the tenor singer in this group. The song celebrates the virtues of securing gainful employment. The lyrics go, and I quote, "Well, every morning about this time, she gets me out of bed a-crying, get a job. After breakfast, every day, she throws the want ads right my way and never fails to say, get a job," end quote. You know, every youngster in this country needs a mama like that. And Mr. Mike doesn't want to support your laziness either. Get a Job by the Silhouettes stayed at #1 for 2 weeks. This next #1 is by Elvis Presley, and the song is Don't. Question: when did Elvis earn the nickname the King of Rock and Roll? Well, that nickname made one of its earliest appearances on April 19th, 1956, when reporter B. Ramirez called Presley the 21-year-old king of the nation's rock and roll set in the Waco News Tribune. A month later, a story in the Memphis Press-Skimitar referred to him as, quote, the fledgling king of rock and roll. Ironically, Presley himself declined that title. After his first opening in Las Vegas in 1969, a reporter referred to him as the King in a press conference, which prompted Elvis to point to Fats Domino at the back of the room and say, "No, that's the real king of rock and roll." Interesting story. Don't remained at number one for 1 week.
And I want to hold you, baby. Don't say don't.
Our next number one is considered an instrumental, even though one word is sung or spoken in the song. And that one word is tequila. And the title of the song is Tequila by the Champs. That dirty saxophone that you hear is provided by Danny Flores. Flores, who was of Mexican heritage, was known as the grandfather of Latino rock. Without a doubt, everyone knows the words to this song. Tequila remained at number one for 5 weeks.
Tequila.
The Platters are back as our number one group with their next number one song, Twilight Time. The lyrics to the song were written by Buck Ram and the music by the Three Sons, consisting of Morty Nevins, Al Nevins, and Artie Dunn. Ram said that he originally wrote it as a poem without music while he was in college. Instrumental recordings of the song were done by the Three Sons back in 1944 and Les Brown and his band of renown in 1945. Twilight Time by the Platters held the top spot for 1 week.
I count the moments, darling, till you're here with me. Together at last at twilight time.
This next number one artist is better known as being surrounded by 3 chipmunks, but that won't happen until later. And his real name is Ross Bagdasarian, but he is better known as David Seville, and his 1958 hit song is Witch Doctor. In this song, the narrator asks a witch doctor for romantic advice. The witch doctor's advice is ooh-ee, ooh-ah-ah, ting-tang, walla-walla, bing-bang. In today's recording world, you get that high-pitched voice digitally. But back in 1958, you had to vary the tape speed. Witch Doctor remained at the number one spot for 3 weeks. These two brothers made it to the number one spot for the first time last year in 1957. And they are back again here in 1958. They are the Everly Brothers, and their hit song is All I Have to Do Is Dream. The acoustic guitars you hear on this song are provided by Phil and Dawn Everly. But that electric guitar that you hear is by Chet Atkins. And the B-side of this record is a song titled Claudette, written by a then unknown Roy Orbison. All I Have to Do Is Dream remained at number one for 3 weeks.
All I have to do is dream.
It's now the end of May, and the novelty song genre claims the number one spot. The song is titled Purple People Eater, and the artist is Sheb Wooley. Okay, maybe we could say that the song Witch Doctor was a novelty song, and would probably be right. Wooley finished composing the song within an hour, later describing it as, in his words, undoubtedly the worst song he had ever written. End quote. MGM Records agreed and initially rejected the song. However, the demo became so popular with the young people at the MGM office that the front office noticed, reconsidered their decision, and decided to release the song. Probably glad that they did. Purple People Wheel topped the charts in the US for 6 weeks.
It was a one-eyed, one-horn flying purple people eater. One-eyed, one-horn flying purple people eater. One-eyed, one-horn flying purple people eater. Sure looks strange to me. One-horn. I said, Mr.
A new group, calling themselves the Coasters, take over the #1 spot with their hit song, Yakety Yak. This tune was written by the songwriting team of Jerry Lieber and Mike Stoller. Love the lyrics in this song. And they go like this, quote, "Just finish cleaning up your room. Let's see that dust fly with the broom. Get all that garbage out of sight, or you don't go out Friday night." End quote. You know, I think every parent of teenage children should take heed to this song and then pair it up with Get a Job by the Silhouettes. Now that's real parenting. Yakety Yak stayed at #1 for 1 week.
And walk yourself to the laundromat. And when you finish doing that, bring in the dog and put out the cat. Yakety yak.
Don't talk back.
Next at #1, we have a Cuban band leader, pianist, composer, and arranger who popularized the mambo in the 1950s. His name is Perez Prado, and his hit song is Patricia. In 1953, while Prado was living in Mexico, he was unexpectedly deported from that country and was not permitted to return until 1964. A popular legend among the Mexicans is that he was deported for having done a mambo arrangement of the Mexican national anthem, which would have constituted a crime under Mexican law. Or maybe he was kneeling while the anthem was being played. I don't know. Patricia stayed at #1 for 1 week. The TV show Ozzie and Harriet helped launch the career of this next #1 artist. His name is Ricky Nelson, and his first #1 hit song is Poor Little Fool. Sharon Shealy wrote the song when she was just 15 years old. Shealy sought out Ricky Nelson to record the tune. She drove to his house and claimed her car had broken down. He came to her aid, and she sprang the song on him. The Jordanaires, who provided backing vocals to many of the Elvis Presley songs, provide the backing vocals to the song too. Poor Little Fool remained at the #1 spot for 2 weeks.
Oh yeah, I was a fool.
Italian singer and actor Domenico Modugno has our next #1 hit song, Volare. This song does have an Italian title, but I can't pronounce it, and my friend Joe DeMio is not here to help me pronounce it. So we'll just go with Volare. But I'll put the Italian text down below. In 1959, at the first annual Grammy Awards, Modugno's recording became the first ever Grammy winner for both Record of the Year and Song of the Year. The combined sales of all the versions of this song exceed 18 million copies worldwide. Volare remained in the #1 spot for 5 non-consecutive weeks.
Una musica dolce suonava soltanto per me. Volare. Oh.
we have another doo-wop vocal group to take over the number one spot. The group is from Staten Island, New York, and they call themselves The Elegants. Their number one song is Little Star. The Elegants recorded other tracks, but only became a one-hit wonder group. The lyrics go like this, quote, "Twinkle, twinkle, little star, how I wonder where you are. High above the clouds, somewhere send me down a love to share." Those lyrics are so 50s, and I love it. Little Star stayed at number one for 1 week.
I need a love, me, oh, my. Twinkle, twinkle, little star.
It's now the beginning of October, and we have Tommy Edwards as our newest number one artist with his hit song, It's All in the Game. Carl Sigman composed the lyrics in 1951 to a wordless 1911 composition titled Melody in A Major, written by Charles G. Dawes. Does that name sound familiar? Dawes was Vice President of the United States under Calvin Coolidge. It is the only number one single in the U.S. to have been co-written by a U.S. Vice President or a Nobel Peace Prize laureate. And Dawes was both. Many a tear has to fall, but it's all in the game. It's All in the Game stayed at number one for 6 weeks.
Once in a while he won't call, but it's all in the game.
Conway Twitty has our next number one hit song with It's Only Make Believe. Twitty was a rock and roller until he decided to cross over to country back in 1966. This song was written mainly by Jack Nance, a member of Twitty's band, during an intermission in a show that they were playing at the Flamingo Lounge in Hamilton, Ontario, in Canada, with Conway Twitty providing the finishing touches to the song. The backing vocals are provided by, who else? The Jordanaires. This was Twitty's only number one Billboard Pop hit song. It's Only Make Believe stayed at number one for 2 non-consecutive weeks. The folk group, the Kingston Trio, comes in at number one with their hit song, Tom Dooley. This song is a traditional North Carolina folk song based on the 1866 murder of a woman named Laura Foster in Wilkes County, North Carolina, by a man named Tom Dooley, whose name was actually pronounced Dooley. One verse of the song reads, and I quote, "This time tomorrow, reckon where I'll be, down in some lonesome valley, hanging from a white oak tree," end quote. Hey, nothing says a number one hit song like one written about a murderer who's about to get hung. Tom Dooley stayed at number one for 1 week.
Hang down your head and cry. Hang down your head and cry. Oh boy, you're bound to die.
It's now the beginning of December, and we have the Teddy Bears with their hit song, To Know Him is to Love Him. The Teddy Bears consisted of Marshall Lieb, lead singer Annette Kleinband, and a guy by the name of Phil Spector. They recorded this song, which was written by Spector, at Gold Star Studios at a cost of $75. Spector got the idea for the title of the song from an inscription on Spector's father's tombstone, which read, "To know him was to love him." know him is to love him stayed at number 1 for 3 weeks. What song ends our list of number 1s for 1958? I'll give you a hint. It's a seasonal song. It's a Christmas song. And this artist had a hit song earlier this year. But this time around, he is with his Chipmunks, Simon, Theodore, and Alvin. Yeah, it's the Chipmunks with the music of David Seville with the Chipmunk song. After the success of Witch Doctor in early 1958, Liberty Records asked Seville to create another successful novelty record. He then came up with 3 singing chipmunks, and get this, named them after Liberty Records executives. I wonder which executive was Alvin. And yes, I had the 45. The year 1958 ends with the Chipmunk song is number 1 for 1 week, and it begins 1959 as number 1 for another 3 weeks, for a total of 4 weeks. There they are, the 18 number 1 hit songs from the US Billboard Pop Charts from the year 1958. 3 songs from 1958 that I really liked that did not make it to number 1 are Sweet Little 16 by Chuck Berry, only made it to number 2. Splish Splash by Bobby Darin, only made it to number 3. And T for Two, Cha-Cha by the Tommy Dorsey Orchestra, only made it to number 7. Unfortunately, these 3 songs never made it to the number 1 position. So, which ones, in my musical opinion, are my top 5 1958 favorites? Well, there's 18 to choose from, so here you go. And my number 5 is Witch Doctor by David Seville. I'm usually not partial to novelty songs, but I like this song for 3 reasons. 1, I like the technology breakthrough with the varying tape speed to produce that high-pitched voice for the Witch Doctor and later the Chipmunks. Reason number 2, the Witch Doctor gives great advice. Ooh-ee, ooh-ah-ah, ting-tang, walla-walla, bing-bang. Are you having issues with your girlfriend? Well, I'd give the same advice. And reason number 3, I had the 45. Witch Doctor as my number 5. Moving on to my number 4 is Twilight Time by the Platters. I just like the sound of this group. They're great, and the words are not simple. They're deep, and I like deep words. Heavenly shades of night are falling. It's twilight time. Out of the mist, your voice is calling. It's twilight time. When purple-colored curtains mark the end of the day, I'll hear you, my dear, at twilight time. Oh my goodness, fantastic words. Twilight Time is my number 4.
Moments, darling, till you're here with me, together at last at twilight time.
For my 2nd year in a row, I'm going to pick an Everly Brothers song in my top 5. My number 3 song for 58 is All I Have to Do Is Dream. As a guitar player and a bass player, I love playing this song. I love the chord pattern, and I love the harmony that these 2 brothers produce. All I Have to Do Is Dream as my number 3 song.
To hold me tight whenever I want you. All I have to do is dream.
The next two are a toss-up. But for my number 2 song, I'm going to go with It's Only Make Believe by Conway Twitty. Like the Everly Brothers song, I really like the chord pattern in the song. It's a fun song to play, and it's a fun song to sing harmony to. And I always thought Conway Twitty was a country music star. But I guess he had rock and roll roots, and that's good. It's Only Make Believe as my number 2. And my favorite number 1 song from 1958 is considered an instrumental. The song is Tequila by the Champs. I know all the words to this song. Tequila. I love the dirty saxophone in this song, and I love the Latin twist to this song. And it's just a very well-produced song. Tequila by the Champs as Mr. Mike's number 1 out of all the number 1 for 1958. There you have it, the 18 number 1 hit songs from the year 1958, and, in my musical opinion, my top 5 from that year. What were your top 5 songs from this year? Remember, you only have 5 dimes to play 5 songs on the jukebox. What will be your favorite 5 songs to play? Leave your 5 favorites in the comments below. The wallpaper on my PC here to my left is from the 1956 movie Forbidden Planet, directed by Fred Wilcox. Yeah, that's Anne Francis, Leslie Nielsen, and introducing Robbie the Robot. I just love my 50s sci-fi movies. Well, I hope you enjoyed this trip down memory lane, revisiting the number 1 hit songs from 1958 and a movie. Come back again when I take us through another year in rock and roll history. Look at every number 1 hit song from that year, and then, in my musical opinion, give you my top 5 songs. Well, this is Mr. Mike, and I'll see you next time in our next exciting episode of In My Musical Opinion. Keep rocking.